suit and tie every day, but I drank 24/7. Drank on the way to work, drank at work.
I never could come to terms with admitting that I had an alcohol problem or a pill problem.
I decided to get clean, and so I went to the Narconon program.
Not only did I handle my drug addiction, I completely knew how to live life.
Call Narconon today at 01435 512 460. 01435 512 460.
Consider that life wasted. Consider the heart ripped out of a family. Consider the potential never realized. Are these the things you consider when you carry a knife? It's not about street cred. It's about staying alive. Drop that knife. Save your life.
It's a blessing to see people with their heads up to the sky still. 'Cause honestly, for the same people, life can be so real. I'm amazed by all your strength, I am. And I'm grateful you come through. Yeah. So I take this time to stop a moment and show my gratitude for you. I'm a lighter in the air for you. I see what you're doing, I see what you go through. I'm a lighter in the air, the truth is you're beautiful, 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 beautiful. Now put your lighter in the air for us. Yeah. Everybody singing together, sing a new song. Put your lighter in the air for love. It's beautiful, beautiful. Many mighty ships are sinking. Many stars are falling down. And I count it as a blessing that you hold me up now. Oh, I can tell that you've been praying. My whole life has turned around. Yeah, yeah. And I can't go without saying that I thank God for you all now. For you, I'm a lighter in the air for you. I see what you're doing, I see what you go through. I'm a lighter in the air, the truth is you're beautiful, beautiful. Now put your lighter in the air for us. Everybody singing together, sing a new song. Put your lighter in the air for love. It's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Let me say yeah, 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 yeah. Say yeah, 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 yeah. Let me hear you say yeah, 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 yeah. Say yeah, 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 yeah. See what you go through. I'm a lighter in the air. The truth is you're beautiful, beautiful. Now put your lighter in the air. Put your lighter in the air. Everybody singing together, sing a new song. Put your lighter in the air for love. Oh, you're beautiful, beautiful. Let me say yeah, 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 yeah. Say yeah, 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 yeah. Let me hear you say yeah, 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 yeah. Say yeah, 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 yeah.
All right, great tune there from Mali Music. Beautiful, he calls this one. Great tune. All right, good evening if you just tune in. This is indeed ABN Radio UK, your London's Afropolitan radio station. Today is Sunday, of course, and we have the Mixpiration show rolling out right now till 8 p.m. And as I told you before, we've got Leroy and his sweet wife, Stacey, right here in the studio. Let me just, say hi to them.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello. Good evening.
See the man's voice. Hello, hello. That's a real man in the studio. Yeah, so they are here to share their life story from the genesis of it to the revelation. So just, grab a seat if you can, take some popcorn, just like you're going to watch the movies. and then just, you know, cross your legs and
Enjoy.
take a pen and paper and jot down some few pointers. You know, they are definitely going to help you. You can't afford to miss all these pointers. Just stay tuned. All right. I'm just going to ask them to introduce themselves. Maybe ladies first.
Yeah, ladies first.
Yeah, ladies first.
So, hi everybody, I'm Stacey. I'm 28 and I live in South London.
Great.
Keep it short and sweet then.
Yeah.
Hi guys, so I'm Leroy. I'm 28 also, and I live in London, but I work in Leeds. So that's
Wow.
fun. Yeah.
I see. You live in London by working, so you go and come every day. You commute.
On a weekly or fortnightly basis. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I understand. All right. So if you're listening and you just want to contribute to this program, you can do that by calling in. The number is 0208-670-7300. The number again is 0208-670-7300. You can also WhatsApp us if you are not in the UK. Wherever you are in the world, you can WhatsApp us on 0788-747-5940. So make sure you add the country code, the UK code +44 if you are not in the UK. But if you are here, you can just go ahead and enter 0788-747-5940. You can do same. You can also text us on that same number, and we'll read it out for the listeners to exactly know what you're talking about. Right. So this is Deep Convo, as the name says, deep conversation. We are going deeper and deeper into it. So let's just start by how you guys met.
Do you want to start?
I'll let you lead.
Ladies first.
So we met in college.
Yeah.
I don't know how to start. Okay, so Leroy had a group of friends, but in that group of friends, I only knew one guy.
Okay.
But I always thought Leroy was good looking, so I would go and say hello to everyone and hug everybody because that's just how I am.
Yeah.
And yeah, it just kind of, there was one time in the gym in college, Leroy and his friends were having banter and Leroy said something in tree and then I just started laughing and I said out loud in the gym, oh, he sounds funny when he speaks tree.
Oh, okay.
And ever since then we became friends, but before that it was just a hello, bye and stuff. But ever since that moment we became friends.
Okay. So what year was that?
2006 probably.
Yeah.
2006.
Yeah.
Okay, so first pointer, you have to be a funny guy. As she said, he was funny at a point whenever he tried speaking tree. So the lady said, well, I'm the funny guy in my life. Why can't I just do it? So yeah, that was the first pointer. You need to write that down. Don't forget so that you don't miss out on the next chance. You never know. All right, so Leroy, what's your take on that? How did you meet?
So my version of how things came to fruition is I remember one day we had a football match in our college. So we went to John Ruskin College. Okay. And we've got a football pitch just behind our college.
Yeah.
So we had a match then, and I think I specifically remember it was Nigerian Independence Day. So Stacey's group of friends were mostly Nigerian, and she decided to wear green also with them on that day.
Ah, I see.
So I was on the pitch. I looked up and I thought, oh, who's that? And then at that point, I think I missed the ball or something happened. But ever since then, I kind of made it a mission or kind of to get to know her and see what she's about, really.
All right. Yeah. So you guys got to know about each other. He was funny at a point, and then you thought, he could be someone that you can actually date.
Yeah.
I don't know if that thought came into mind the first time you saw him.
To be honest, no. It was more so that he was a good looking guy and he was funny. And when we became friends, he was more so someone I could speak to.
Okay.
So you keep saying he was a good looking guy.
He was of course.
Yeah, he was good looking then, you're good looking now.
It's not like I understand you now. He's still good looking. Come on. Yeah, but so if I understand you clearly, you guys were friends.
Yeah.
For like how long?
I would say a year.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what actually changed your decision of being friends to becoming lovers, like dating?
You go first.
I think during the friendship we grew closer and closer, and it went from normal conversations to coconsa about things that's happening.
I like that.
Things that's happening in college.
Yeah.
So I think we just eventually grew towards each other, and yeah, I don't think we went with the intention to be dating each other, etc. But it was a friendship that grew into a strong bond between us. Okay. And funny thing is, later on in the years, we realized like her family know of my family, and my family know of her family, like in terms of family friends and mutual friends. So yeah, it was interesting dynamics.
So it was really the Kokonsa bit that changed the whole thing. What do you want to say, Stacey?
I think for me, it changed from being just friends to more when I spoke to Leroy every day.
Okay.
Every day in college and out of college, we would have pillow talk mostly.
Hey.
Yeah, it was. And it was more so because he just knew how to listen.
Okay.
And just have a conversation. It was something that I never got tired of speaking to him. Like there was never a dull moment in conversation and things. So, yeah.
Yeah. So if I understand it clearly, you needed someone who was funny and also knows how to listen.
Yeah.
Those are the two tips.
Yeah.
Guys, if you are listening, I told you to take some pen and paper and write them down. These tips are very important. So you need someone who is funny and also able to listen.
Yeah.
All right. So 2. I've given you 2 from there. Great. Okay. So now you guys got together. You were so cool about each other and you decided to date.
Yeah.
How long did you date for before deciding to get married?
10 years.
What? 10 years?
10 years we were together before officially tying it up.
Why 10 years?
I think because one, we were young and we never actually anticipated our relationship going as long as it did. And I would say maybe by year 4, year 5 is when we were like serious about each other. We knew we wanted to marry each other, but we was always in education. We went to uni, then you finish uni, you want to get your finances right and things. So it was not that we didn't want to, it's just that we wanted the right time. And for us, it was after education.
Oh, so you were waiting for the right time.
Yeah.
Which you thought it was after your education before.
Yeah, after your education, you get like everything aligned, i.e. like your money, you know what you're doing with your life and you know where you're pulling to or going towards. So
yeah,
you need a plan in essence. You can't just leap into it. And I know a lot of people think, yeah, we'll leap into it and God will help us out, but you need to have that action plan and be carrying things through.
Yeah.
In order for God to help you out through things. So yeah, that was our mindset towards things.
Okay, so after 10 years, that Leroy finally said, okay, I want to date you, I want to marry you, excuse me. What happened? I just want to know the spark. What actually happened that, prompted your mind and said, let's do this?
I think it got to a point in life where I thought I'm happy and I'm comfortable where I am as a man. So in terms of the foundations that I know where I'm going, I'm working now in full-time employment after university.
Okay.
And yeah, I think one element of things is obviously we're from a Ghanaian background and how we do things is different to how we do things in the UK, etc.
Yeah.
So for Stacey, I think we went to Barcelona. So I took her to Barcelona for her birthday and then proposed to her then. So that was special, but obviously for a Ghanaian point of view, it doesn't mean anything, or from a Western point of view,
it does. Even from Ghanaian point of view, so, it means a lot.
Yeah. So it was interesting dynamics. Yeah, it was good. So
all right, so that brings my mind onto the fact that some ladies, would want guys to kneel down, like go down one knee to propose.
Yeah.
Did you do that?
Yeah.
Okay. So you got that point.
Yeah.
All right. So, but despite the fact that you did it, do you think it's something essential that every guy should do for their would-be wives?
Yeah. Essential. I don't know. Everyone's different. The way people are brought up is different. I felt in my upbringing and things I've seen in movies, how the relationship I see between my parents, I felt it was only right to go for it that way, rather than just, oh yeah, I want to get married to you, have it take her somewhere special, and yeah, do things you haven't done before, make it a special memory. So me getting money, it's only one time it will happen, so it was kind of the right time it happened there and then.
Okay.
Because that would, unless I'm injured in football, I'm not going to be on my knee again anymore. So yeah.
Okay, so Stacey, if he didn't do that, would you have been upset? If just she told you, Stacey, you know what, I think you should get married.
Whatever
like
her answer is, I'll tell you what her true reaction would have been. But go for it.
Yes and no. I'm 50-50.
Okay, why?
Because as a young girl, especially in the Western world, you're all you see around you in Disney films, whatever you see, is the man going down on one knee to propose and things. So that's kind of always ingrained into my mind, or into any woman's mind. So
Fairy tales.
yeah. So if it doesn't happen,
I see. Guys, you're listening.
if it doesn't happen, it's almost not real.
Okay.
But at the same time, because I've been with Leroy for so long, if he didn't do it, I would still accept that we're going to get married anyway and stuff, and I know how he feels about me, but I would have still wanted the knee. I would have still wanted.
Otherwise, you'd have been upset a little bit.
A little bit.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, cool. So it's quite straightforward. Every lady would love to have that.
Yeah.
Straightforward. Even though some would say, it doesn't matter, but then, hey, if you don't do it, it matters to them.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So you have to make sure you do it. Yes. So the next question. Sex before marriage. I'm not sure if you guys were able to just want to put in a nice if you guys were able to abstain for that 10 years, which is quite hard, I know, for youthful exuberance, like people who are young and still strong, keeping that kind of thing away for 10 years. Did you guys do that or not? Your friends are listening. Those who know the real truth are listening. So make sure you don't lie to us.
Well, to be honest, majority of me and Leroy's relationship has been, I wouldn't say majority, but especially in the adult part, I say that in quotes, of our relationship, has been long distance anyway. So in abstinence,
Okay.
I wouldn't say, okay, yeah, we were 100% abstinent, but the fact that we were long distance helped.
But you were not able to abstain totally.
No.
Okay. So what would you have done differently if you got a second chance in terms of that?
If we got a second chance, I would have... It's hard to say because it's good to say stuff in hindsight, but it doesn't always happen that way, because if we had a second chance, I probably wouldn't have dated Leroy at 17.
Okay.
For it to be us dating for 10 years.
10 years.
I would have probably liked to have met him when we were like maybe 21.
Okay.
22. And then have our relationship blossom the way it did, and then get married. So then the whole discussion of sex before marriage wouldn't have been such a big thing, knowing that we've been together for so long. But yeah.
But I guess if you were to wait for that long, the person you are would have changed. Your character would have changed based on who you meet on your journey. So you won't be the same individual
that I am now if I met you at 21. I guess that's true.
Yeah. So what would you have done differently?
I'm going to agree with Stacey. So I think there's two things I've always said to Stacey is that I wish I met her later on in life, because as a young, attractive individual, I always say to Stacey, I wish I went out more, like with my friends, went on holiday, etc. Whereas when I got with Stacey, I don't put myself in environments or in situations where one, there's going to be temptation, etc. I try and keep away, or I do keep away from all of that. So I'd rather not do certain things my friends are doing. Or so I guess one thing is, yeah, I would have liked to have met Stacey later on in life, which again, I could say that now in hindsight, but I might be a different individual I am now. You never know what would have happened, where would have been, etc. Yeah.
All right, cool. Just hold on for now and let's have a breather. Let's just go and drink some water and then come back and continue. So I'm going to do this, and when we come back, we'll continue.
This is ABN Radio.
It's really my type of music.
We play your genre of music, from contemporary gospel, high life, hip life, Afropop and Afrobeats.
Play loads of music
on London's premier Afropolitan station.
Hi, this is Rodney Hines.
And I'm Michael.
Join us on the Voice of Sports show each and every Saturday on ABN Radio.
We'll keep you bang up to date with all the latest football scores, and we'll discuss all the big talking points in the world of sport. So don't forget, join us this Saturday, 4 till 6 on ABN Radio UK.
Tune in to the new ABN Breakfast Show from 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. The London City Show has evolved into an all-new breakfast show with sizzling slices of juicy newsy current affairs served with junior jumbo-sized convos on issues you should be aware of. What did I just say? The ABN Breakfast Show, the Afropolitan breakfast you can't afford to miss.
Consider that life wasted. Consider the heart ripped out of a family. Consider the potential never realized. Are these the things you consider when you carry a knife? It's not about street cred. It's about staying alive. Drop that knife, save your life.
ABN Radio.
London.
London's Afropolitan radio station.
Oh Lord, I've truly been captured. I can't believe that I ran away. I've been running. Was at the end of my chapter, and I almost gave up on my faith. But you didn't wait for that. I was on the run for so long, and you came for me. You came. Though I told you leave me alone, you still stayed with me. You showed grace to me. And now that I'm face to face with you, I'm so in love with you. I'm captivated with you. Now that I'm captured. Now that I'm
Lord, I was almost dead, cause I felt trapped. Some nights I would ride and just wanna snap, but I was chasing sin, thought it would lift me up. Seemed like my only hope to get me out my rut. And part of me hated everything I was doing. See, I was terrified, thought my life would be ruined, but I was so addicted, felt like I couldn't quit. Jesus, come take me now, cause I am sick of this. And yes, he heard my prayer and ran to my aid. Then the tears on the flow, cause I was so afraid to embrace change, help my unbelief. And that's just what he did, and gave my soul peace.
Oh Lord, I've truly been captured. I can't believe that I ran away. Was at the end of my chapter, and I almost gave up on my faith. But you didn't wait for that. I was on the run for so long, and you came for me. Though I told you leave me alone, you still stayed with me. You showed grace to me.
So that's Captured by Flame featuring V Rose. Great team there. You know, have been captured by their love story. That's all I'm trying to say to you. I'm sure you've been captured as well. All right, so let me let you know that you can go to YouTube and watch us live on there. So if you are listening to us on TuneIn, you can also go to YouTube, look for ABN Radio UK YouTube page, and you'll be able to watch whatever is happening right now in the studio. See the gorgeous faces here, Mr. and Mrs. Yeah, all right. So tell a friend to tune in. You can also listen to us on the radio player. So if you don't have that app, you can go to the App Store or Google Play Store and download the radio player. ABN Radio UK is the second radio station on that player, as well as TuneIn and on DAB. Right. So let's move on. Wow, the man is rubbing. Great. All right. So now, moving on. Do you believe in gender roles at all?
Oh.
Not really. I don't think we.
Not really. So a bit.
To a point.
To a point. Okay.
Yeah.
What's a percentage and why?
80-20, I think. 80% no, we don't. I think, and 20% maybe yes, we do. What do you think?
Why is that? Let's understand your point.
Because Leroy is not the type to like expect. He's not the type to only have me do like household chores and cleaning and cooking and stuff. He likes to clean. He's a clean guy, which is good, and he likes to cook as well and experiment in the kitchen. So
experiment. It's good. Every man does
and
that.
he always likes to help with like household stuff. So I wouldn't really say there's gender roles in that aspect.
Okay, but would you love that to have happened? Like if he wasn't doing it, would you love Leroy to be in his lane whilst you're in your lane?
No, I actually enjoy that we can do stuff together.
Okay. All right. So Leroy, what's your take?
So I believe in gender roles to a point, to a certain point.
All right.
So like Stacey said, I think because I live in Leeds, I'm able to cook for myself. I have to cook for myself.
Yeah.
I have to clean up. I actually find cleaning therapeutic. So you find me at home cleaning up, playing music and just vibes and doing my own thing.
Yeah.
I guess when it comes to cooking, I'll happily help out, washing plates, cleaning up. I'll happily help out or even lead it. I'm an early bird, so I'll wake up early, try and get things done, and then I know I can relax the rest of the day. Where I don't believe in it is, so Stacey, I think because Stacey's the firstborn in her house, she likes to get involved in everything. So when I get an IKEA pack, she's there trying to fix it. She hasn't even read the instructions, and she's trying to hold something. And I'm thinking, you're gonna make this even longer than it's supposed to be.
I'm not that bad though.
So just let me do everything else. When you're in the garden, she's getting a mower to do something, or she's getting the wrong tool to do something. So even though the intent's there, I believe like with certain things like that, it needs to be. You need to have that role divide.
But it's been different for me because I'm the firstborn, I'm the oldest of four.
Yeah.
And my dad's always taught me, so like if he's in the garden, I was in there with him. He taught me how to check oil in my car, and he's taught me how to change a tire, but I've never actually done it myself. And like he's taught me stuff so that I can be independent. He's always not wanted me to rely on a man, and I have to change a light bulb. I know how to do quite a few stuff.
Light bulb.
Yes, I can. So I guess from that aspect, if Leroy's doing something like fixing whatever, I would like to help.
All right.
Because I've always been that way.
So you always offer a helping hand.
Yeah, definitely.
Even if you can't do it, you try to try to see if you
Or I'll even do it and learn.
learn.
I think it's that intent to show that you're willing to help out, even if it's not your skill set, helps too. So
yeah. So in terms of finances, how does that work out in terms of finance, in terms of gender rules, finance? Would you expect Leroy to? I don't know what you are doing as a couple now in terms of finances, but the norm is that the man normally pays the rent. The man only pays the high bills.
Is that actually a thing? I was watching a video yesterday, and
that's the norm.
when they said the man pays, okay.
See, so with me,
okay,
I would like to help wherever I can. So, like, I would like to go 50-50 on the bills, like the rent and stuff. Yeah, I think it should be equal in that aspect.
That's if you're able to.
If I'm able to.
Afford it.
If Leroy knows, I mean, there's times when maybe I'm not able to, and it's not a problem. Like, he will do it.
Yeah.
And stuff. We don't argue about money, or there's never really a conflict about finances and things, because we just work off each other and go off each other. If I can do it, great. If not, that's fine.
Yeah, I think one principle's mine that I don't want to argue about money. Or so if someone says I owe them money, or I need to give them this because of X, Y, and Z, I'll look for a pragmatic reason in terms of why I need to do it and give it to them. So vice versa when it comes to Stacey, because I think we have the belief that it's 50-50 in this relationship. We both have to put in order to get something out of it together to benefit both of us. So when it comes to finances, totally acknowledge if I'm earning double or triple hers, I don't expect her to put the same amount I'm putting in. I have to be pragmatic about things, or we are pragmatic about things like that. So yeah, we look at things, take a pragmatic stance about it, and then go forward from there.
Okay. You know, I always say this, but let me say it one more time. There's a saying that a man's money, it's for the family.
Yeah.
But then the woman's money is for her.
I say it all the time too.
You say it too?
I say your money is my money and my money is my money.
Why?
I say it as a joke, but it's never really. But to be honest though, like me and Leroy as we are now, but when children come into play, the woman's money usually go towards the children, whereas the man's money then does the household stuff. So the woman's money will probably do the shopping, buying the children's clothes and uniform and all of that kind of stuff, and the man's money would.
The man can also do same.
He can, but society has made it that women usually that's what women do.
Okay.
But I think in our household it will be different.
I can see Leroy's mouth shaking. His mouth is about to say something. Just pay it out. Say it.
No, I don't know. Fair dues, I think it might be a society thing, but you don't always have to abide by what society has out there. So you could look at the positives and take that away and pull those positives to your relationship and get the best out of it, really.
Yeah.
You don't have to just say, okay, that's society, so we have to do that. No,
I think our situation will be different.
Yeah.
I think it will be 50-50 across the board.
Okay.
That's what I think.
So did you guys go for counseling before you got married?
No, not really. We were supposed to.
Okay.
But with our schedules, and obviously Leroy's up in Leeds and back and forth, it just wasn't. We just never found the right time. But we have people there that we know we can speak to, should we need to.
Yeah, I think.
Okay, so
one thing out of it. Not that I'm justifying it. It's I think because we've been out with each other for so long.
Yeah.
We know what kind of frustrates one another, how to push each other's buttons, and I think we've just grown to a point where maturity's taken over, and instead of trying to dwell on things and argue about things, we just look at it and think, well, what could we do about it, and then move on from there. I don't carry on arguments or grudges with Stacey. I think I've grown up a lot, to be honest. Like in the last probably about 7 years ago, I'll have an argument, then I'll say to Stacey, you know what, I don't want to be with you anymore, let's break up, and then that's me done. But throughout the journey, I think obviously when I realised, this is the woman I'm going to marry, maturity's also kicked in, and it's stop dwelling and putting efforts into things of the past and things like that aren't working out for you, but put that effort and energy to the things of the future and how you want to focus and achieve those things. So it's more of the focus on moving forward than looking back. You can say, okay, what you did yesterday annoyed me, fair dues, that's what it is, let the apology settle in, you be frustrated, go out for some fresh air, but then just move on to the next milestone, really.
Right. Okay, so a couple came on this show, and the husband went straight, was very frank, and he told me look, I was a womanizer before I met my wife.
Yeah.
And my wife changed me. You know, I stopped all of that because I met my wife. I met what I wanted. Who were you before you met Stacey?
So I was in a relationship. No, I think I just came out of a relationship with a previous girlfriend, and I think I was going out with her for about a year, 2 years or so. So when I came, and Stacey knows this, when I came to John Ruskin, I wasn't looking for a long-term girlfriend.
Yeah.
And that's what it's turned. Fortunately, that's what it's turned out to be. But when
He wanted to be a womanizer.
He wanted to be. Okay.
He wanted to
Everything
use
is
that.
coming out now.
Yeah.
I love that.
But unfortunately, he met me, and it was
that
not gonna
unfortunately?
happen. Well, no, fortunately, I should say, and unfortunate for you, but fortunately for us.
For us, okay, cool.
Yeah.
So
your plan was to be a womanizer.
it wasn't my plan.
What was it then?
You know, I was just going where life will take me.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then Stacey said, no.
She put the brakes on that.
Yeah, so you're not going for any other woman. I'm the only person. And then she just grabbed your attention. That was it. Stacey, good job done. Good job done. All right, so I'm going to play a little game. Just put you on the spot. Don't mind me. I like doing that. So I'll give you these 2 sheets.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, so before the game, if you are listening and you want to contribute to the program, you can call us on 0208 670 7300. Stacey's friends, please bail her out, you know, and then Leroy's friends also bail him out. You know, just call in and let us know that you are listening. You know, let him feel your support. Yeah. All right. You can also go to YouTube and watch us live on there. Feel free to pass any comment on the YouTube link and we'll read it out. Great. Question 1.
Yeah.
This is how well you know your spouse.
Can I have the pen?
So.
Thank you.
No copy.
Yes, no copy, no looking on each other's sheets. Just gonna read about 5 questions and then we'll continue later. So 1, what's your spouse's favorite color? Yeah, so you're alive, everyone is watching.
Right, yeah.
Okay, question 2. Yours is not.
Yeah. Thank you.
I think.
Is that right?
No, that's what I keep on.
Okay, try this one.
Yeah.
Should work. Okay, cool. So favorite color 1, 2. Favorite car, your spouse's favorite car. 3.
Right, you're moving a bit fast for me. 1 second. 2 was favorite
car. 3, who's the best cook? And then 4, who gets angry easily? And 5, is your spouse closer to the mom or dad? That's a tricky one. Very tricky, I know. Okay, so no watching, no looking, no spying. Can I have your sheets, please? All right, time check is about 3 minutes to the hour of 7. So before we hit the hour of 7, let me just try and read these answers quickly. So the first question was your favorite color. So Leroy, what's your favorite color?
Purple.
Purple. Okay, we give that to you because you wrote purple. Great.
Yeah.
So what's your favorite color, Stacey?
All right, here we go.
I don't think I have one.
I knew it. You see why I put.
It changes. It's very seasonal. So at the moment, I'm liking.
Right. What did I write?
Let's listen to her.
At the moment, I'm really liking yellow.
Mm-hmm.
And Yeah, but overall I like neutral colours. But for some reason at the moment I like yellow.
Okay, so I'll give Leroy half.
Okay.
Because he wrote brown, but it changes like the weather. So same thing, but then you didn't get the actual color right. You said yellow, you said brown. Okay, favorite car. Leroy, what's your favorite car?
My favorite car. I'm gonna say right now my favorite car, Mercedes G-Wagon.
Okay, she got it right. Looks like she really knows her husband. Wow. And then what's yours, Stacey?
I'm not really into cars, but I do admire the Tesla.
Come on.
Wow. For now.
Did you get it right?
Come on, why did you sound surprised?
Okay, so the third one was your who was the best cook? Okay, who's the best cook?
Me.
Are you sure?
Okay, Stacey says she is. And Leroy too said Stacey. Okay, cool. All right, so the fourth one was who gets angry quickly or easily? So, Stacey, who do you think gets angry quickly?
Leroy.
Leroy? See the face on Leroy.
You do. It depends. My temper is a lot hotter.
Yeah.
But Leroy gets frustrated quicker.
Okay, so Stacey said Leroy. Stacey's trying to, steal some. Yeah, but Leroy says Stacey and Stacey said Leroy. So now we don't know who exactly gets quick. Okay, who are you most closer to? Like, is it your mom or dad, Stacey?
Who am I closer to?
Yeah, very close to, like your mom or dad.
Give me more points. Come on.
I think it's 50-50. It is 50-50. I'm a daddy's girl.
Okay.
But I'm close to my mom.
This is tricky.
It is tricky because...
So which one? So just tell me one. Who are you close to out of the two?
Well, I tell my mom more stuff, so I guess my mom.
Okay, so what about you?
I would say my mom.
Great.
I was right.
Wow, so both of you were right. Wow, so Leroy just got half out of his marks. But you guys, you were great. You were great. At least you've shown some connection. You've shown that you've proven yourself that you've been together for that long.
Yeah.
Right, you should get a leaderboard here.
Leaderboard. I'm gonna post that on the socials. the leading team, Stacey and Leroy. Yes. Right, great stuff. Let me just play this tune, and when we come back, we'll do more of the deep convo.
Say this, get in, I'm not your first.
I'm blinded by your ways. Yeah, I'm blinded. Yeah, I'm blinded. I'm blinded by your ways. I'm blinded. 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 I'm blinded by your ways.
No one plays it better on the radio than us. ABN Radio, home of Afrobeats.
Consider that life wasted. Consider the heart ripped out of a family. Consider the potential never realized. Are these the things you consider when you carry a knife? It's not about street cred, it's about staying alive. Drop that knife, save your life.
It's here, the African Gospel Music and Media Awards 2018, celebrating excellence. On the 2nd of June 2018, at East London Arts and Music Main Auditorium, 45 Maltings Close, Bromley by Bow, London, E3 3TA, from 6 p.m, featuring Joe Beto, Diana Hamilton, Isabella, Called Out Music, Shekinah, Dena Mwanga, Afri David, Angel Bernard, Judith Sefuma, Blessing Ali, and Reaper's Choir. For tickets and information, visit AfricanGospelMusicAwards.com or call 07906 932 670. The African Gospel Music and Media Awards 2018, celebrating excellence.
Clap your hands and dance it.
Mixpiration with Bright every Sunday evening from 6 to 8 p.m. is just fun, it's exciting. It's a mix of contemporary R&B and pop gospel music right here on ABN Radio. Enjoy great tunes every Sunday evening with Bright on Mixpiration, a blend of great inspiring songs just for your Sunday evening relaxation. Tune in from 6 to 8 p.m. this and every Sunday on ABN Radio, London's Afropolitan radio station. Tune in to the new ABN Breakfast Show from 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. The London City Show has evolved into an all-new breakfast show with sizzling slices of juicy news, current affairs, served with junior jumbo-sized convos on issues you should be aware of. What did I just say? The ABN Breakfast Show, the Afropolitan breakfast you can't afford to miss.
This is ABN Radio, projecting rich African culture through the power of radio.
Of course, this is ABN Radio, your London's Afropolitan radio station. You can't afford to miss any show on this radio station. On Mondays, you know what we have. Monday morning, your breakfast is always exciting when you listen to the ABN Radio Breakfast Show with Ifo Adam. So make sure this coming Monday, tomorrow, you tune into ABN Radio right from bed, and then let's make your day, an enjoyable one. So make sure you tune in. It's up until 11 o'clock in the morning. Right. So I'm here with Leroy and Stacey. They've actually given us a bit of, I would say, half of what they've gone through in their relationship till they became husband and wife. and they are still pressing on. Now, what we want to talk about, in every marriage there is the challenging times, the problem. When problems hit you, they don't hit you once, they hit you left, right, center, up, down, everywhere. And sometimes you annoy each other, and your flaws sometimes are too much to bear. In marriages, there's nothing like perfect. You can't be perfect in a marriage. We all have our flaws. I do have mine. My wife has hers. You also have yours, I'm sure. Yeah. So would you be kind to, share with the listeners how you've been able to deal with what flaws?
Okay.
I don't even know why you're laughing. The way you've been ad-libbing while he's been talking, I thought you had something there.
Patience. Patience is a big thing that I've learned anyway.
Yeah.
Because Leroy is not always patient.
Okay.
So it's had to make me more patient at times, especially in disagreements. And also I've learned to actually listen and not listening just so that I can respond.
Okay. To understand.
To listen to understand, but not just listening because you just want to get your word in. But yeah, I would say my flaws are shouting. I don't know. You tell me what my flaws are.
All right, let me get this list out quick.
Wow. It's a list, man.
No, I'm joking. I guess just to add on, there's the understanding part's probably ideal. I guess in not just our marriage, but everyone's marriage, everyone's not brought up the same.
Yeah.
They've gone through different life experiences.
Yeah.
So how I deal with a situation, I can't expect that to be second nature to Stacey to also deal with a situation.
Yeah.
She's always getting the understanding that at the end of the day, if you understand it's impacted your spouse in that type of way, and they've got their own way with dealing with things, then your way is not necessarily the right way all the time. So everyone's got different ways to achieve one goal. So it's getting Stacey's listening aspect, but also the understanding. So once you bridge those two together, obviously the communication between you two will be ideal, and it can bring nothing but good results. Also, I guess when there are issues, it's so personally, I feel Stacey sometimes she's too emotionally involved in a certain situation, and when you're emotionally involved in a situation, that clouds your judgment on stuff. So if you take that step back away from it and think, you know what, let's actually look at this issue. Let's take the feelings out of it and walk through the process and see how we feel and what are the pros, what are the cons of it. How do you best want to address it, or how should we best address it together? So listening, communicating, and just being realistic about things, taking emotions out of things sometimes, because that emotions brings a situation and makes it overheated when it doesn't need to be. Something so small and minute with emotions tags to that makes it seem like a whole nother level or a whole nother situation. Yeah.
So in other words, like emotions try to how do you say, put the actual fact aside. Sometimes the truth is very hard to take, so it becomes a bit emotional, like even though it's the truth, but it's too hard for me to take it. So women tend to take that side because they are mostly emotional.
Yeah, definitely.
Men. So it's quite understandable. Yeah, but Stacey has heard you.
But I feel like in terms of a relationship, it's ideal to have two individuals that think the same. But sometimes I feel it's better to have a difference. So if I think one way, Stacey needs to think another way, or should think another way, because instead of always agreeing on stuff, and they call it in the business world sofa loafing, that someone's a yes man. As soon as I say something, Stacey's just agreeing with it straight away. Someone who actually pushes you and says, actually, no, that's not right, and encourages you to think about what you're saying.
Yeah.
And the knock-on effects is actually more beneficial to yourself in a relationship.
Yeah.
So I'll prefer that than a yes woman. That, oh, Stacey, have you done this? Yes. Oh, Stacey, what do you think of this? Yes. That's not
just
how.
For peace sake.
Yeah, that's not how a relationship should be.
Yeah.
Your spouse should challenge you and allow you to grow in your mind, in your thinking, and obviously your faith with God too.
And also to be free to speak your mind.
Yeah.
And say what you actually want to say, and not to be afraid of the consequence, whatever that consequence may be. Just speak and be yourself, and not, like Leroy said, being the yes person, because then you're diminishing who you are. So
that and identity of who you are, where you've come from, is very important, because that's what's made you who you are. That's what's got you where you are, and obviously that's what's got you into the position, the relationship you're in. So you should never lose who you are, how you were brought up, just to move things along peacefully without any issues or situations.
Great. So do you think in issues, like in troubles in marriages, do you think it's wise to seek the face of God?
Yeah, definitely.
Or do you think it's most of the time is something you can solve it physically? You don't need to. Because I've heard people say, it's not about God. It's something you're doing that you need to stop. There's something that we have to do and plan it. So why should I pray about it? Nah, we have to do it. We have to plan it, do it, and that's it. What do you think about it?
There's 3 people in the relationship: God, me, and Leroy. Everything, we involve God. God, I can't speak. We involve God in everything. We like to pray about things, and sometimes, like if we've had an argument, and let's say I have not spoken to Leroy that whole day, the thing I pray to God for is peace and calm, so that, because I know we're not going to go to bed angry. But coming back to speak about it, I want to be peaceful and calm, because I don't want to escalate what's already been escalated earlier on and stuff. And also just going to God for guidance as well. Sometimes you may not know what to do and things like that. So I think having God in the relationship is very important. I mean, at the end of the day, he created marriage, he created relationships. So why not go to the creator?
Right. What about you?
Yeah, I believe that also. So even though the scriptures were written circa 2,000 years plus, they're still relevant today. In essence, you could read a couple stories and see how individuals have prevailed, and actually reflect that upon your life and how you're pushing through. So I believe in times of difficulty, confusion, stress, in a relationship, or not even in a relationship, if you're going through that by yourself, you could always refer back to the Bible and look at some scriptures in there that will help you out and aid you in terms of, this is how this individual did it. Fair dues, I'm not wearing sandals and I'm not walking here, but this is how I think I can resolve something. And I think seeking counsel along the years, we've had, when we have had issues. So again, like you said, nothing's been perfect for the past 10, 11 years. We have had our arguments, serious arguments.
Yeah.
And counsel-wise, we get it from, let's say, my mother, Stacey's mum and dad, and Stacey's uncles, my auntie, etc. So we've got that support structure and the support system. So if one of us is being hard-headed and doesn't understand the situation, we can always, obviously it's not good to just
involve many
people in terms of your relationship. But I guess when it does go to that aspect or to that level, that, you know what, things aren't working out, we need to seek guidance and counsel. You have the Bible for one, and also the individuals who actually are your godparents will be able to help you and guide you in things.
So that I've always been asking myself about this thing. Should we only go to God to pray to Him when we are in trouble?
No. So if my belief is, I don't believe so. We go to church, we're Christian. I don't believe people should, obviously people do this, should only go to church for Easter, Christmas, etc.
Yeah.
I'm not the individual, when I'm in trouble, then I'm praying to God. I'll do it regardless. So in the morning, even if it's a short prayer to thank God, thank you for waking me up. Not everyone wakes up the next day.
Of course.
So actually coming outside your house, or even the first thing you do before you even yawn or stretch, thank you God, or get out your house, get that breath of fresh air, thank you God. I don't believe that it's only when you're in times of need that's when you should go and seek him. So that's my personal belief and principles about things.
I'm very big on gratitude.
Okay.
Being grateful for where we are now. And like I said this earlier this week, that we get so wrapped up in where we want to be and where we want to go that we forget to thank God for where we are now.
Yeah.
So my focus is always about thanking God for where we are now and what plan he's put me in, and also trying to seek what he wants me to do, for figuring out the purpose God has for not only my life but me and Leroy's life as a couple. So I'm very big on gratitude, definitely, and I definitely think of involving God into God is within everything that we do, so it's best to just acknowledge that and accept him.
Great. It's best to acknowledge and accept God. Just say thank you in the morning when you wake up. Thank you, God. It doesn't take too much of your time, just about a minute to say thank you, and then say a few words, exalt the name of God, and there you go. You go to work. Some people do say, I'm late for work. I mean, just a minute of your time won't change anything.
Exactly.
If you fell in traffic whilst you were running to work, I mean, you'd have no choice than to wait. So just take God as your traffic, and then wait in the morning for just a minute, and then just say thank you.
A lot of people actually have headphones and stuff or drive to work, so it may not even be actually physically speaking to God, but it could be just through worship, through praise, listening to gospel music and doing your thank you and your praises that way. So it's not, I know a lot of people, there's some people I know that do their morning devotions. Before they get out of bed, they've read the Bible and things like that. Not everybody has that time.
That.
But it's just doing it on your journey, like you said, in traffic, instead of road rage. It could be thank you, God. So,
people are really quick to check what WhatsApp messages they've got for the night. So they can't wait to touch their phones when they wake up. The first point of call is, who has messaged me? What are they saying? That's it. So instead of saying a prayer, they are rushing to see the messages they've got on their phones, which is quite bad. Just take God as you yourself being a father of a child, and you've done something for the person, and the person doesn't acknowledge the fact that you've done anything for the person. The same way we want acknowledgement, God also wants acknowledgement.
Exactly.
He's a jealous God in a way. So if you don't acknowledge his effort, he will stop doing it. You have to make sure you exalt his name, and then he'll keep on showering the blessings onto you. So let's do this quickly, and when we come back, we will go into sharing your problems with family members.
Yes.
Consider that life wasted. Consider the heart of the family ripped apart. Consider the potential never realized. Are these the things you consider when you carry a knife? It's not about street cred or respect. It's about staying alive. Drop that knife and save a life. Gwenton slowly, supporting all family and young people.
It was a well-paying job, respectable, wearing a suit and tie every day. But I drank 24/7. Drank on the way to work, drank at work.
I never could come to terms with admitting that I had an alcohol problem or a pill problem.
I decided to get clean, and so I went to the Narconon program.
Not only did I handle my drug addiction, I completely knew how to live life.
Call Narconon today at 01435 512 460. 01435 512 460.
What do you like for breakfast?
Well, it depends what mood I'm in. If I'm happy, I like a little bit of porridge with banana because I'm feeling healthy. If I'm in a
Me, I like a bit of fruit. Nice apples, sliced apples.
I love
banana.
a cinnamon and raisin bagel, some scrambled eggs, and a...
I say nice English breakfast.
Salad, fruit and orange.
I like oatmeal bagel with a bit of cream cheese on it and some bacon and then some avocado. And on the side, I like to have
fried egg with bacon, with baked beans, toast.
I normally take my cocoa. Yeah, I'm a Ghanaian. I'm a typical Ghanaian, so I like my cocoa.
I'm not too sure. I normally don't eat breakfast.
It doesn't matter how you like your breakfast, or you may not like breakfast at all, but you will love the sound of your radio when the breakfast is Afropolitan. Watch out for the new ABN Radio Breakfast Show with Efuadum. ABN Radio, London's Afropolitan radio station. Consider that life wasted. Consider the heart ripped out of a family. Consider the potential never realized. Are these the things you consider when you carry a knife? It's not about street cred. It's about staying alive. Drop that knife. Save your life.
This is ABN Radio, Afrocentric, Cosmopolitan. We are London's Afropolitan station.
Of course, we are London's Afropolitan station, ABN Radio. If you are listening to us on TuneIn, you can go to Radio Player as well. You can download that on your phone on App Store, Google Play. Look for Radio Player and download it. ABN Radio is the second radio station you'll find on that app. It's very clear, very, very clear. The clarity is amazing. So you can download the Radio Player the same way you downloaded the TuneIn to listen. If by any chance you are in a car and you've got DAB, you can also listen to us on DAB in your car. Just search for ABN Radio UK in your car and you'll be able to listen to us in your car. At the same time, we are on YouTube live right now. So if you want to see the gorgeous faces right here in the studio, you can also go to YouTube and watch our video live. Feel free to leave any comment and we'll be able to read it out for you. If you want to call the studio and contribute to this discussion, the number to call is 0208-670-7300. The number again is 0208-670-7300. And if you want to text or WhatsApp us, the number is 0788-747-5940. So let us know what you think about whatever we've discussed so far. If you agree or if you disagree or any contributions at all that you've got, let us know and then we'll be grateful to share out to the listeners. Right, so as I said, we are about to discuss sharing problems with family members and marriage issues. I know you did say that sometimes you go to relatives to let them know what's happening if maybe the problem has escalated to a point that you think you need a third person in. I just want to find out, is it really good doing that or not, in your opinion? And why do you think it is, Stacey?
I don't think it's a good thing. In saying that, we've probably only shared problems with our parents once in the 11 years that we've been together.
Okay.
But, maybe twice. I don't know.
Twice.
But I would say the reason why I wouldn't think it's a good idea is because your parents, they're your parents and they only want best for you. They want to see you happy and things. So if you're sharing a problem, for example, if I'm sharing a problem with my mum and dad or something that Leroy is persistently doing, eventually they're going to not like my husband.
Okay.
And I wouldn't want my parents to not like my husband. And vice versa. I wouldn't want Leroy's parents to not like me.
Like you.
So I think parents is a touchy touchy subject in sharing marital or relationship problems. But I think it's good to have a senior or an elder who may not be directly related to you to go to them, because then there's no bias as well. You can get advice solely from an outsider and not from the woman's parents and not from the man's parents, where chances are there could be bias in that advice as well.
Leroy?
Yeah, so I'm in agreement here also.
Okay.
Like Stacey said, in the last 10, 11 years, we probably only had two issues where we've gone to our parents to aid or give us advice, etc. I'm very much against I would rather have someone who's not related to myself or Stacey and have that discussion with them, or so that. All right, so I think two elements to this. The first aspect is, do you think it's right to speak to your parents or people in your family about problems? So my direct answer would be yes. Reason being is because they've lived it. They've gone through relationships already. They're either successful in their relationship or they're not. But either way, they can advise you on what to do or what they think is best. The downside or the negative side to that is the fact of there's going to be bias. So if my mum was to give me advice, she'll give me advice in my favor. Vice versa with her parents also. So with that, it's best to go to an isolated third party who's got no relation, no favoritism between both of you, and just say, you know what, detach the emotions again. And this is what the situation is. Where do you think one, we've gone wrong, what we should do about it now, and where it will lead us. So there's always those 3 steps in a situation. So
sorry. So if you're saying that maybe going to somebody who is not in the family is quite the best choice to take, won't that expose your marital issues outside?
So it's not
your family.
So with that, it's not any random individual. It will be, let's say, the people or someone you were supposed to go, a preacher, for instance, or a minister that's supposed to counsel you or that was counseling you, etc. I think those type of someone like that, of a good nature, with a good understanding on life and the ethos within life, will aid you. Obviously, you wouldn't want to air out your dirty laundry in terms of what's happening. But if you love the individual and you want to try and work out, and the fact of the matter is, you've already tried to work it out, it's not working. This is your escalation. So it's either you say, you know, we'll still try and make it work. It doesn't continue to work. You end up drifting away from each other. Your marriage breaks up. If you've got a family, your kids are now going one way and another, child support's involved, a range of different knock-on effects in essence. Whereas if you go to that escalation path, or someone who's clearly isolated between you two, I think personally,
I think that it's good to have a senior elder who's experienced and knowledge to give advice, but I also am very much against. I mean, there's some couples that would tell their business or their arguments or whatever to every friend that they have to see different point of views, which does, I mean, if it suits them, fine. Personally, for me, I wouldn't do that, especially because with friends, I mean, I'm cool with having just one friend. If I am going to speak to a friend about it, it will be just one. I wouldn't.
That one friend will also speak to another one friend.
That's true.
And then the whole.
Which is why I wouldn't. That's why I prefer
don't tell
the
Stacey,
senior.
you know, but do you know?
Which is why I wouldn't. But I understand why some friends would do that. But the best thing is to get an elder senior person outside the family.
Because I think, Bright, if you don't do that or you don't go to those points, you're always going to think you're right. So let's say Stacey and I do actually have a genuine issue, we've got a problem, and Bright, we've come to you, or we don't come to you, but in my head, I'm right, Bright. Stacey said she's right, but then when we put the situation to you, you can say, actually, both of you are wrong. You give us that guidance and advice in terms of that. So, and it's not. It could be one because emotions are involved, or a narrow vision and just looking at one thing, but we're not looking at the bigger picture. So it's always about looking at that bigger picture.
Okay, so could it also not be that you would pray to get your issues solved? Is that an option?
That is an option.
Yeah, you revert to that most of the times.
I would personally revert to that most of the time. Praying is, but sometimes in the way God works, God's timing is never our timing. So sometimes you want an immediate answer, quick fix, and sometimes God will put you in that situation because he wants you to learn something from it. And humans, we're so focused on now. So you make instant results. So you want the answer now, and to me, an elder senior is the better. But sometimes also, I don't think it's everything that you need to go to somebody about. I mean, like I said, in the 11 years we've been together, we've only gone to our parents twice. Everything else we sort ourselves, because then there's room for growth as well. So instead of always relying on somebody to tell you what to do, tell you how to act and things like that, it's room for growth. You learn from your mistakes, you learn and you grow, you mature.
Great. Wow. Okay, so now let's get to the lovey-dovey bit. So I mean, you guys spoke about the things that your flaws, I mean, and how you guys tend to solve it, go around it to make sure, you know, things are okay between both of you. Now, it will be good also to tell us what Leroy is doing that you love so much that you want him to even do it more, or what Stacey is doing that Leroy loves so much. You know, you never know. Somebody would learn from your experience and also would do that in their marriage, and you never know what will happen.
Yeah.
So yeah. So let's hear who would go first.
I'll let ladies first.
Ladies first. Wow. Okay, let's go.
What do I like about Leroy that I want him to continue?
You know that's a delaying tactic when you repeat the question.
Leroy is very caring, extremely caring, and I like that about him. He puts me first before himself. He's very selfless within the relationship, and I really like that about him. He's affectionate when he wants to be. When he's upset with me, he's not affectionate.
Okay.
But when everything's fine, he's very affectionate. But the best trait of Leroy is his caring aspect. He's very caring. And just loving in general.
So you want him to continue being caring?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's nice. Leroy.
So with Stacey is going to be listening. So sometimes I even giggle to myself when I put the phone down to her. So obviously we've got this long distance relationship, and I'm back and forth in London probably every week or every other week in essence. So see on the weekends, so we try and do as much as possible. So when there's a situation at work, I'll tell Stacey and I'll walk through things with her. During the week, she'll ask me, "Oh, how's this going with so and so?" But she's mixed up the whole conversation that I've spoken to her about. But she gets the beginning and she understands the end. But then you having to go through the whole conversation again. I'm like, no, Stacey, I didn't say that. This is what I said. This is where it's going. So one thing I admire her is her listening skills. So her listening skills are key, and I guess it pays, or it's worth the day job that you do. Obviously it comes to fruition in the relationship that she's keen on listening, even if she doesn't understand how it works. You could tell her this is how you build an aeroplane. She'll listen, but she won't take anything like the technical bits in, but she'll just understand, all right, what did you start at and what are you trying to get to at the end? And that's all she kind of indirectly takes on. So that's one thing I admire about her. And I hope she continues to listen and understand.
Okay, some pointers. Being caring and listening. Those are the main things that I got. Okay, cool. All right, so you guys often do, like what as you said, long distance
relationship.
How do you cope?
FaceTime.
How do you manage FaceTime?
We FaceTime all the time, but communication is key. We make sure we communicate.
So sorry to cut you. So how often are you guys apart?
So let's take this for instance. So I came down on Thursday. Before then, I was here 2 weeks ago. So
like 2 weeks, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Wow.
And we try to alternate it.
Yeah. So
as in I will go up 1 week, he'll come down 1 week.
Yeah.
But God willing, that's gonna all end soon.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So Stacey has got some smile, like the cheekbone is coming out. Wow.
It's gonna end soon, but communication is a big thing, and trust is also a really big thing, because obviously we're not around each other all the time. So just obviously, I mean, communication and trust kind of fall hand in hand, because the more we communicate, the more we're able to trust each other.
Yeah.
So why are you laughing?
No, because I think so obviously we met each other in, let's say, 2006. From 2009 so 2010 to about now, we've had a long distance relationship. So when she went to university, she went to Coventry and I went to Greenwich. So we've had that long distance. I think we could sit here and talk about how we work through stuff and we're able to talk through stuff. I think probably the real challenge probably will be a year from now when we're living with each other, because at that point dynamics will change. When I come down for a weekend or she comes up for a weekend, it's not the same with as when she's always there. So I think probably having a session or something similar to this a year from now or a year and a half from now to see, all right, now you two are living together, how has things changed, how have things progressed? So which is different to other people in their relationship. Sometimes they want to just leave their partner and go away somewhere for a weekend and then come back relaxed, whereas we're the opposite, because we don't see each other that often. We want to try and see each other as much as possible. So
that kind of spark the love when you see each other.
Definitely. So I think that's the real challenge, and it's easy for us to be biased and say, yeah, things are working, but as soon as we start living with each other, if I'm leaving the toilet seat up or she's not cleaning the fufu pot after our meal, that's where probably the frustrations and the real challenges will start.
But to be honest, I'm quite optimistic. I'm not that worried about because I mean, like I said, we've been together for so long that I know Leroy in and out. I know his traits, I know his good things, the bad things, the things I know I can live with, the things I know I can't live with, because we've been together for so long. We've had moments where I'll go and stay with him for a while, he'll come back for a while. So I'm not that worried or see us being together as a challenge, because I know how he lives and he knows how I live, and we know we can coexist. I mean, there are going to be things that would irritate and stuff, but I don't think to the point where it's like a big challenge, because we know each other so well.
All right, cool.
You're laughing. Unless you've changed.
You see, unless you've changed. Right. So we'll be moving to the topic of trust.
Yes.
And we'll try and wrap up. But before then, let's do this. And then when we come back, we talk about trust.
Are online, DAB, and
the ABN Radio app.
Consider that life wasted. Consider the heart ripped out of a family. Consider the potential never realized. Are these the things you consider when you carry a knife? It's not about street cred. It's about staying alive. Drop that knife. Save your life.
It's here. East London.
Hello.
Hi, is that AB Radio?
Yeah, that's ABN.
ABN. Sorry, my bad.
Can you please?
Ken, please.
Sorry?
Ken. Is that Ken?
Do you want to contribute to the program?
To be honest, I mixed it, but I was watching it on the YouTube, and I think it's a current one because it's talking about the Liverpool and Tottenham. And I must admit that that presenter is too good.
Okay. So we are talking about a different thing now. Now we are talking about love and relationship. So that was a sports program.
Yeah, I think I haven't got that online, but I got the one that I think this afternoon. Is he around? What's his name again? Ken?
Kwame Kente.
Yeah, Kwame Kente. Is he around?
No, yeah, so he's finished his program. So this is Mixpiration, where we talk about love and relationship.
Oh, so he's done and gone, yeah?
Yes, all right.
All right. Do you have do you do like listeners' feedback?
Yeah, we do that.
Yeah, so give my finger to him. I said is brilliant. He got the vibes, and he's good on the mic. Very, very nice and confident. And I really like the way he presents himself as well.
Okay.
And my name is Nike, and he man knows me.
Sorry, what's your name?
Nike.
Nike.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much, Nike.
What's your name?
Bright.
Bright.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Sweet victory. 'Cause I got sweet victory. Yeah.
You see me live. I know you see me live. You can't tell on these CDs, but bro, I'm knee deep in it. I'm waiting in my weakness, he may be deep in it. I be lying through my teeth to say I don't resent it. Even as I write these lines, I'm close to tears. My body ain't been working right for 7 years. Miss me with that, keep your chin up, try to smile. Bro, I'm 26, I should feel better by a mile. Keep all your anecdotes and cute quotes. I'll pass on cliches for true hopes.
I feel thorns where my crown was. I
mask until dawn, yeah. I'll survive, cause I got sweet victory. Nobody can take it from me. Sweet victory. Cause I got sweet victory. Yeah. Toast to the king. Cheers to the city. Feeling good. We gon' make it to the finish. Sweet victory. You hear me? I live, you feel me? Yeah, we still running even though we're living. Sweet victory. Cause we winning. Yeah, you know we winning. Even though we winning, we still in it. Sweet victory. Cause we winning. Yeah, you know we winning, now we living. Sweet victory. They see me on the stage, they like that boy the man.
All right, so that's Sweet Victory by Triple E. You know, Sweet Victory by Triple E. So I'm trying to rhyme here, you know.
Yeah.
All right, it's all about the gospel R&Bs and the gospel hip hop tracks, you know, on Mixpiration with myself, Bright. And as you know, we have the wonderful couple Leroy and Stacey sharing their life story. Right, let me just remind you that last Friday's Bed Talk, the program was phenomenal. I just don't know how to say it.
Phenomenal.
It was great.
Yeah.
It was wonderful. So we are going to do a repeat this evening from 10 o'clock. So if you missed out last Friday, make sure you tune into ABN Radio UK from 10 o'clock and enjoy whatever was said on Friday. The topic was a third person in a marriage. So having a third person in a marriage, the effect that, you know, that has on a marriage. So make sure you tune in from 10 o'clock and listen to Bed Talk. Make sure your children are asleep because it's Bed Talk. They have to be in bed. Yeah, of course. Right. So let's move on. I wanted us to talk about trust. Especially in your case, I know trust is a big thing for you. How do you think trust is really something that we have to make sure it is in a marriage before you actually say I do to each other?
Yeah. 100%.
Why is that?
Because you don't want to walk down the aisle and say I do to someone that you don't really know. And trusting somebody is knowing that person and knowing that person. I mean, going into a marriage, you're essentially giving that person your heart.
Yeah.
And you don't want them to play about with it. So you wouldn't want to say I do to somebody that you don't know how they're going to play about or how they're going to look after your heart. And trust is a big thing. I mean, there's a saying that once a trust is broken, it can never be rebuilt the same way that it was prior to when it was broken. So it's very important that in a relationship stage, building that foundation and building that trust before marriage is key.
Yeah, Leroy.
Total agreement. Yeah, total agreement. Yeah, trust is paramount to a relationship. You don't want to be several years down the line and then you're questioning someone, why did you do this? Why did you do that? And they'll tell you, well, you knew this is the person I was when you married me. So this is who I am. It's my true colors. This is who I am. So understanding that person and trusting them is paramount, especially in our relationship. I guess Stacey has to, the trust has been built up throughout the years and she knows that, yes, I can go out in Leeds or go out wherever without causing an issue, embarrassing us, degrading her or anything like that. So if she didn't have that trust in me moving to up north would have been a problem.
It wouldn't have happened. But the thing is as well, I know that the type of character Leroy is, he's very loyal and he's always looking at himself and reflecting on himself, and he, like he said earlier, he doesn't ever want to put himself in a position to cause an issue. And he always thinks about something like that. So let's say if he was going clubbing with his friends, he would think about that bigger picture. If I go here, how's that going to affect me, but how's that going to also affect Stacey? And then he makes his decision on that. So me knowing that that's his character also makes me trust him more, because not only is he very loyal, but he's very thoughtful, very reflective, and he wouldn't do anything to put me in a position or put himself in a position that would create an issue.
Okay, so you know, some people do say that I would grow to love you and trust you. In that sense, from the onset there's no trust, or like the love is not much, or the trust is not 100%, but they believe that they would be able to learn to trust the person, or as time goes on they'll be able to love each other much more. In this sense, is it a smart thing to do? Like, do you need to make sure you trust somebody 100% before you say I do, or you can start maybe 20% trust and then try and build it on? What do you think?
So, right, if you go to a shop and you're buying something and they say, I'll give you half of this now, you have to just trust me, I'll give you the half later, you're going to be happy. So I think that's kind of the same in a relationship. The trust needs to be there. At the end of the day, your dating period is the period where you're getting to know an individual and seeing what they're like, what their behavior flaws are, and if you can actually deal with it or think, this isn't for me, I need to move elsewhere. So that comes in time. At the point where you say I do, or I want to be with this person for the rest of my life, I feel that trust already needs to be built, because you can trust your man or woman in any relationship to do the right thing.
Yeah, and it's also very important, because if you decide to grow to love or grow to trust somebody, that, especially if that's going to be after marriage, that whole first couple of years of marriage is not going to be happy. It's not going to be rosy, because there's going to be so many issues that come up that should have been dealt with prior to marriage, and you will not experience marriage to be a happy, good, fruitful thing how God intended it to be, because you're not there to enjoy. Whereas if you deal and do the hard work before, which is dating and courting and getting to know each other and building trust, then marriage is nice and fruitful, because you can enjoy it.
Yeah. Okay, so let's paint this scenario. So if, in case, I know you both trust each other, and you went to visit Leroy came back home to see you, and I'm not saying it's happening, but just and caught you, whether you caught Leroy or Leroy caught you cheating with someone else, but it wasn't your fault. Like, you didn't initiate it. You were not even ready for any kind of cheating thing. So you have to be ready to cheat before. Some people do plan it. I'm going to cheat. They put on their makeup. Today I'll make this guy fall. I'll cheat. Like, some do it. Yeah. But some don't plan it. It just comes naturally, and then they go like, oh my God, what have I done? So if you find your spouse in that situation, despite the fact that you trust your spouse, and the devil has taken your spouse by surprise and they fall in for that act, what would you have done? Will it be off, like, that's it for me? Or would you give your spouse a second chance? You forgive the person and give him or her a second chance? Leroy, today is your turn.
All right. So, to be totally honest and transparent, personally, I would say it will be off as much as I'll try. Reason being is, if I've given you my trust, I've given you basically all of me. And even if you've done it intentionally or unintentionally, I feel a part of me is, you just disrespected it, because you should, one, all right, you're in that situation, but two, you shouldn't have put yourself in that situation. If it's you and this guy alone, why did it have to get to that point, etc.? So as much as I would want to try and work things out, I don't think personally I could stick there, because in my mind, I know they say forgive and forget, but in my mind personally, it's always going to be, I'll have flashbacks in my mind about things, and I personally don't know how I can continue. It's easy for me to say this now that I'm not in the situation, but if the situation occurs, I don't know how I'll react. But my initial stance on that is, personally, I've given you all my trust, you've disrespected me and thrown it away, so you don't value me as much as I thought you did, so I'll have to walk away.
Okay, so that will be the end for you.
Unfortunately so.
Stacey?
It will be the end too. I just can't. Wow. I can't. I mean, I know there's a lot of people that say you don't know how it will be until you're in it, but I know myself. And I was actually telling my friend this the other day. I wouldn't say I'm the most beautiful person or the most confident person, but the one thing I hold very high to myself is my self-worth and my self-value. And if Leroy can put himself in that position to cheat on me, then he doesn't value me or love me the same way he said. And I can't be with someone that doesn't put me on that pedestal the same way I put myself, but also the same way I put them. So I couldn't live with that disappointment, in that disgust, and the trust would be. I'll be paranoid all the time. So I wouldn't see why I would make myself paranoid when I know I can just walk away.
Okay, but God doesn't like divorce.
He doesn't.
So why would you choose that option if that's not what God wants his children to do? Both of you to answer it.
Stacey, first.
Okay, so
today you're on the hot seat.
God doesn't like divorce, that's true. But I think there are 5 things that God excuses for divorce. I think I don't.
Why do you think that?
I don't know the 5.
Yeah.
Completely.
Yeah.
But I know that infidelity is one.
Okay.
And I know that domestic violence is one. And those are, to be honest, the 2 things that I would not stand for at all. But I know that, I mean, even if you look at the 10 Commandments, adultery is an abomination. So if God is even saying adultery is an abomination, why would he allow you to be in a relationship where adultery has been committed onto you? So I wouldn't. God sets rules or things, but there's certain things that he wouldn't want you to go through himself. Yeah. And I think that adultery or infidelity and things like domestic abuse are things that you should not stand for in a relationship, whether it's on a man or on a woman. So I think God will excuse divorce in infidelity, definitely.
Do you agree to that, Leroy?
Yeah, definitely. I don't think God wants to see you go through struggle, depression, arguments on a daily basis, and you're not actually getting any results. At the end of the day, I'm a very, I picture things a lot. So if Stacey comes to me, or Leroy, I've cheated, but it was by accident, I didn't mean it, this guy came on to me.
No cheating can be by accident.
I'm going to always have that flashback.
So even if she came to tell you, you didn't find out, you won't even accept it?
No.
Wow. So both of you are saying no.
So I think there's different levels to it. So I think, let's say someone's kissed Stacey and she's pushed them off, because what I'll ask Stacey is, okay, so what did you do? So if Stacey says, oh, someone kissed me, and I say to her, oh, so what did you do? Oh, I kissed him back, but I pushed him after. Then I'm going to be questioning things. But if she says, I pushed him off immediately, I called the police, or obviously very extreme, but she did X, Y, and Z, her reaction in terms of what she did will
show you where my heart is.
Yeah, show me where her heart is. Whereas if she explains the story to me, and in my head I'm just thinking, these are certain points, all of this could be avoided, and it still went through, I'm sorry, but it's not meant to be.
You know, like there's some people that say, oh, what would you do? I cheated on you when I was drunk or something. I mean, sorry, but being intoxicated is not an excuse for cheating, because drunk people know how to find their way home. They know how to catch a cab or whatever the situation may be. So you know to some extent what you're doing, even if you're drunk. So I wouldn't even take, that is just the worst excuse. I could never even take that.
Great. All right. So time is fast spent. Just about 4 minutes to go. Let's do this quick quiz again. Just about 3 questions, and then we'll call it off. Yeah, just to loosen the nerves a bit. Yeah. So 1, what's your spouse's favorite perfume? So time is going. So 2, what one thing does your spouse hate a lot? And the last one, what's your spouse's number 1 thing that he or she wishes for in future? So done. Okay.
That one, can we phone a friend? The last one.
We can't.
What was the third question?
What does your spouse wish for?
Your wish list, something that the key thing on your wish list in future. For your future.
For your future.
Yeah.
Let's see. Done. I've got the last one wrong. I'll do it now.
Okay, can I have your sheet, please?
I didn't get number 2. I didn't even get a chance.
Okay, so the first one, what's your spouse's favorite perfume? Stacey, what's your favorite perfume? So you have a minute. to go?
I would say the recent perfume Leroy got for me, which is the Chanel perfume. I can't remember the name. Mademoiselle.
Coco Chanel.
Coco Chanel.
Yeah.
That's what he wrote. Cool. And then what's yours, Leroy?
I probably got it.
It's just gone out of my head. Creed.
Creed. Okay, no, she didn't get it right then. She wrote Savage. Dior.
Savage.
All right. So next one, what's your favorite? What's one thing that your spouse hates? That was the second question. So what's yours, Stacey? What do you hate most?
Why are you looking at me?
Because he wrote something for you.
I don't know if I could say it on air. Fine in bed.
That's exactly what he wrote.
Okay. I hate
You
it
hate
so
that.
much because he does it, and then he lifts the quilt up.
That's so funny. All right, so you didn't write anything, but what's yours? What do you hate most, so that she would know?
What do I hate most? That the fact she's not a morning person.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then the last one, your wish list. The number one thing on your wish list, Leroy.
I put a house, purchase a house. What did you write?
I put happiness and contentment.
Oh, you went for concert. Okay. He said physical things.
Okay, so wish list. She wants to be happy.
Yeah.
Eternally.
Okay.
So that's her one.
Amen.
And then your one is to get a house.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, on that note, I would say good evening to you once again. And thank you so much for listening to us on the Mixpiration Show, the deep convo segment where we discuss marriage, issues, things about marriage issues, the lovey-dovey things, the rosy things, the bad things, and the problem-solving issues, and all of that. But we thank you so much for being with us from 6 till this time. Next week, we have another couple coming in, so make sure you tune in next week from 6 to 8 p.m. You can check our socials for the names of the couple. They are wonderful as well, the same way Leroy and Stacey were wonderful today. God bless you so much for listening, and I would say good evening. I'm going to drop something from Governor B to sign off.
What can wash away my sin? Nothing but the blood of Jesus. What can make me whole again? Nothing but the blood of Jesus. What can wash away my sin? Nothing but the blood of Jesus. What can make me whole again? Nothing but the blood of Jesus. All precious is the blood that makes me white as snow.
Yo, me get out the man, we really gotta have words. I'm sorry, brother, but I heard you made it all worse. I'm stuck, I don't know what works. I know it ain't all your fault. You're just as flawed as me. And plus, I know what it's like when I let Satan talk to me. And yo, I've read all these books, and I've read all these verses. So why, when I progress, do I get caught reversing? I'm trying to keep it moving, just trying to find your grace. But I just feel like in my life I made so many mistakes.
What can wash away my sins?